Arts and Creativity Literacy Reporters Angelica Sabroso, Princess Grace Querante, Maylene Rodemeo, Geraldine Sakilan, and Melinda Sibonga. Good morning, everyone. Our report is all about arts and creativity literacy. Sometimes we confuse about artistic ability with creativity. There are also misconceptions between being artistic and creative. So let's find out kung ano yung kaibahan nilang dalawa. When we say artistic ability, it includes skills and talents to create fine works of art such as painting, drawing, sculpting, and musical composition. While creative ability, this is a skill and talent to use our imagination and to create and solve. Example of creative ability is holding crayons helps develop fine motor skills later used for writing. Another example, singing songs, especially rhyming ones, reinforce letters and build vocabulary. What is creativity? Creativity is the process of having original ideas that have value. Moreover, creativity is the ability to see the world in new ways, meaning it is the use of our imagination or original ideas to create something. There are many things that can be achieved from a new idea. First, a product. It can be a painting, drawing, sculpting, or musical composition. Second, a theory. Third is solution to a problem. And the last one, concept on basis of which an art piece is created. Other definition of creativity, it is the ability to come up with a surprising idea from an already existing thing. For example, when Apple computer comes up with a brand new product such as iPad that one has thought on before. Another example, when a painter creates a beautiful work of art. So that is creativity. Therefore, creative individuals exhibit the ability to switch between different modes of thinking and shift their mental focus, which suggests connection between creativity and dynamic interaction of brain networks. According to Neyman 2011, creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. Then, it is also the process of bringing something into being that requires passion and commitment. It involves two processes, which is thinking and producing. These are the 5K behaviors that optimize brain for discovery. Number 1, associating or drawing connections between questions, problems, or ideas from unrelated fields. To grasp how associating works, it is important to understand how the brain operates. The brain doesn't store information like a dictionary where you can find theater under the letter T. Instead, it associates the word theater with any number of experiences from our lives. Fresh inputs trigger new association. For some, these lead to novel ideas. As Steve Jobs has frequently observed, creativity is connecting things. Associating is like a mental muscle that can grow stronger by using the other discovery skill. It builds near ability to generate ideas that can be recombined in new ways. Number 2, questioning or posing queries that challenge common wisdom. It is the most important skill to practice. Asking why and why not can help turbocharge the other discovery skills. Ask questions that both impose and eliminates constraints. This will help you to see a problem or opportunity from different angles. Number 3, observing or scrutinizing the behaviors of others to identify new ways of doing things. There is creativity and innovation exist here. These are the characteristics that people seek to develop to help them look at the world in new ways and form ideas to improve or add it. They are active characteristics, meaning they have to be used deliberately in order to create something beneficial or authentic. I have a tip. Try to make judgment about what you see. Simply pretend you're a fly on the wall and observe as neutrally as possible. Number 4, networking or meeting with people with different ideas and perspectives. By improving this, contact 5 most creative people you know and ask them to share what they do to stimulate creative thinking. You might also ask if they'd be willing to act as your creative mentors. We suggest holding regular idea lunches at which you meet a few new people from diverse functions or countries. Get them to tell you about their innovative ideas and ask for feedback on yours. And number 5, experimenting or constructing interactive experiences and provoking responses to see what insights emerge. To strengthen at both individuals and organizational levels, consciously approach work and life with a hypothesis testing mindset. Attend seminars or executive education courses on topics outside your area of expertise. Take a part of a product or processes interest you. Read books that purport to identify emerging trends. These are the 7 habits of highly creative people. Make a habit of these 7 practices and you will be highly creative in your field. Linda Naiman, 2014, opined that if a person makes a habit of the 7 practices, he or she will be highly creative in his or her field. Thus, this would help teachers to attain highest possible level of creativity. Number 1, prepare the ground. In creating, the only hard things to begin. A grass blades no easier to make than an oak, by James Russell Lowell. So, creativity necessitates a focus of and relaxed mind. Allow yourself the time and space you require to become completely immersed in the zone of inspiration and creation. Allow yourself to be inspired to create by the pure joy of doing so. You might never start if you're worried about being perfect.
2. Plant seeds for creativity. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world, Buddha said.
Instead of complaining, focus on what you want to produce. We amplify what we think about most. Set an intention to achieve the outcomes you want. Number 3, live in the question. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love questions themselves, by Rainer Maria Rilke. So it's been said that at the age of 5, children ask 120 questions a day. At the age of 6, they only ask 60 questions a day. At the age of 40, adults ask 4 questions a day. We adults need to embrace beginner's mind and ask questions. Instead of trying to find immediate answers, pay attention to questions that other people ask, especially those from artists, scientists, and thought leaders. Collect questions you find compelling. Number 4, feed your brain. If you develop an interest in anything, it will subsequently offer you with a goldmine of ideas. If you learn to connect people, places, and things that would not otherwise be connected, artists, designers, and scientists use important creative activities such as combining ideas and establishing connections. Number 5, experiment and explore. I make more mistakes than anyone else. I know, and sooner or later, I patent most of them. By Thomas Edison. Did you know Edison was both a prolific inventor and innovator, producing over 1,093 patents? He was also a master at learning from failed experiments. When he died in 1931, he left behind 3,500 notebooks containing details of his ideas and thoughts. Your creativity will dramatically improve if you follow your curiosity, experiment with ideas, and learn from your mistakes. Number 6, replenish your creative stock. As artists, we must learn to be self-nourishing by Julia Cameron. Joni Mitchell describes her replenishing process as field rotation. When she needs a break, she switches from singing and songwriting to painting. You must learn to nourish and transform your interests, talents, and skills into fantastic reality. Number 7, liberate your creativity. While there is no magic bullet that will free your creativity, remembering how you used to play can be beneficial. What drew attention to the point that you lost track of time, your creativity, talents, and enthusiasm are revealed via your child's play. What links can you find between what you've learned at play and what you've learned at work?
Hand-eye coordination is an important perceptual motor skill children develop during the early years. Now, let's find out what it is, why is it important to develop, and how we can help the children build their coordination with simple games and activities. Eye-hand coordination, also known as hand-eye coordination, is the coordinate control of eye movement with hand movement and processing of visual input to guide reaching and grasping, along with the use of proprioception of hands to guide the eyes. In other hands, hand-eye coordination is the ability to perform movements with the hands while being guided by the eyes. A child's hands and sight work together to perform tasks. Sometimes these tasks need to be done with speed and accuracy, such as when catching a ball, a baby grasping an object, batting the ball in a game of cricket, trying to tie shoelaces, writing a sentence, brushing hair, making a cup of tea, and so on. Additional example, in writing, when making lines, the eyes send visual information to the brain to tell where the hand is placed and if handwriting is legible. Second, typing on a keyboard. Although the types of movements are different, but visual information is used to tell the brain how to guide the hand or if a mistake needs to be corrected. Third, when driving, it uses visual information to move the hands on the wheel, keeping the car in the middle of the lane and avoiding accidents. And last, in sports. In any sports, the eyes usually coordinate with the movement of some parts of the body called motor coordination. Depending on the sport, either hand-eye coordination such as basketball, tennis, football, etc., or foot-eye coordination like for example soccer, track, and so on will be more dominant. Problems and disorders related to poor eye-hand coordination. Individuals with poor hand-eye coordination may find it difficult to play sports, hitting or catching a ball, have messy handwriting, or even suffer with eye strain. Poor hand-eye coordination is caused by difficulty in visual motor coordination. There are two main conditions for inadequate hand-eye coordination: vision impairment and movement disorders. Vision impairment. It is a loss of vision that makes it hard or impossible to perform daily tasks without specialized adaptations caused by loss of visual acuity in which the eye does not see objects as clearly as usual. And movement disorders, these are characterized by impaired body movements caused by a variety of causes, such as ataxia, which is characterized by lack of coordination while performing voluntary movements, and hypertonia, a condition marked by an abnormal increase in muscle tension and a reduced ability of a muscle to stretch.
Hand-eye coordination development and development milestones are followed. Stages in milestone in the development of hand-eye coordination is usually starts at an early age and progresses via movement. So anyway, hand-eye coordination development can be divided into three categories. First stage is the birth to 3 years, followed by 3 to 5 years, and last is the 5 to 7 years. So first, we have the age range of birth to 3 years. So, in this stage, infants can develop eyesight that allows them to follow slowly moving things with their eyes between the ages of birth to 3 years. Looking at faces or objects helps babies to learn, concentrate their eyes. Also, within a week of birth, babies should be able to see their mother's facial expressions. But they can only focus between 20 to 30 inches and the rest of their eyesight is fuzzy or blurry. So, when babies are able to perceive objects, they also have the ability to hear. So, even though they are unable to speak, they will respond by waving their eyes. And also eager to move their mouths and bodies towards the people and objects that comfort and interest them. Okay, so number 2, begin to develop basic hand-eye skills such as reaching, grasping objects, feeding, and dressing. Okay, so hand-eye skills compasses a lot more and are used in a variety of situations. Simply described, it is the body's ability to coordinate hand action based on usual input. So in that age, kabalo na sila magkaabot og maskin unsa na butang na ilahang makita. Kabalo na sila magdula like catching and throwing bola or even magkaon. So they begin to develop basic hand-eye skills. Then number 3, begin to recognize concept of place and direction such as up, down, or in. So they recognize concepts of place. Example, pag dalahon nimo ang bata everyday sa isa ka place, then it is obvious that they will recognize it or even some direction. Okay, so number 4, develop the ability to manipulate objects with fine motor skills. So a motor skill includes crawling, sprinting, jumping, climbing stairs, and sitting. So motor skills are about coordination to move the bodies of the child. And these examples are the practice not only just the way they move but also their balance. Slide, we have between 3 and 5 years. Okay, number 1, continue to develop hand-eye coordination skills and a reference for left and right-handedness. Okay, when we talk about left and right-handedness, we are talking about the ability to control movement on the left and right sides of the body. So if the child is left-handedness, then they use left to perform task. Example, eating, writing, drawing, or even throwing. So same as left-handedness, right-handed do the same. Okay, so number 2, continue to understand and use the concepts of place directions such as up, down, under, and beside. As to continue about these concepts, it is important to have understanding these experiences that occurs multiple times because this activity is intended to help the grasp of child's position and movement, as well as to practice providing simple direction. Number 3, develop the ability to climb, balance, run, gallop, jump, push, and pull and take stairs at one time. So as a result, the child continues to learn how to balance their movements such as climbing, jumping, or even pushing and pulling. Okay, so number 4, develop eye-hand-body coordination, eye-taming, and depth perception. Okay, so the ability of the vision system to coordinate the information acquired via the eyes to control, guide, and lead the hands in the performance of a task, such as handwriting or catching a ball. So it is known as the hand-eye coordination. The eyes are used to guide attention and the hands are used to complete a job in hand-eye coordination. So in short, while they move their bodies, their hand and eyes are also moving. Okay, so the last slide, we have the 5 to 7 years. So number 1, improve motor skills such as handling writing tools using scissors and so on. Okay, so handling tools with scissors is one of the activities you may give your child if their motor skills need a little additional attention. So allow them to cut any creatures out of a paper so they will know how to properly maintain balance in their hands. So another example is Play-Doh. Let them use Play-Doh to curve or even foam boards. Okay, so number 2, continue to develop climbing, balancing, running, galloping, and jumping abilities. So the child can briefly know how to balance his or her body. For example, they can begin to step without holding rails. They begin to pedal a bike or even build blocks. So as a result, they continue to develop motor skills that can aid in the development of their balance until they reach the age of 5 to 7 years old. Number 3, continue to improve hand-eye coordination and handedness preference. And number 4, learn to focus vision on schoolwork for hours every day. So, continue to build hand-eye coordination and handedness. They also learn to concentrate on schoolworks for several hours each day. Listen to teacher, play with classmates, answering questions, and other school activities. Okay, so the last slide, visual ability. So the definition of visual ability is to read, write, and create visual images. It is concepts that relates to arts and design and has much wider applications. It is about language, communication, and interaction. So visual media is linguistic tool with which we communicate, exchange ideas, and navigate our highly visual digital world. And according to John Davis, 1969, visual ability is an ability to see, comprehend, discriminate, and interpret objects and symbols in the environment. Integrate them with other sensory experiences, ability to read, write, and create images. So visual literacy is all about a set of skills that allow someone to find, interpret, evaluate, use, and produce images and visual media successfully. So it is also based on the idea that pictures can be read and that meaning can be through a process of meaning. Some examples of this is the visual text across the range of text types. In text types include non-fiction, textbook, picture books, arts, advertisement, poster, graphic novels, animation, and film, and so on. So, when it comes to English and text analysis, the term visual text is usually merely a fancy way of describing an image. It is basically indicates that everything you are looking at is a visual medium. Think book, covers, picture books, poster, or movies is still a frame. So, and we have 5 components of visual literacy. We have visual language, visual perception, visual communication, visual learning, and visual thinking. The first component of visual literacy is the visual language, which describes the perception, comprehension, and production of visible sign, followed by visual perception, which is the ability to see and interpret the visual information that surround us. Next is the visual communication. It is the transmission of information and ideas using symbols and imagery. Next is visual learning. It is the mode of learning where students rely on graphic aids to remember and learn material. Last is visual thinking. It is also called visual or spatial learning or picture thinking. It is described as saying words as series of pictures. So visual literacy is being aware of how experience images, video, and other forms of multimedia. Images must be evaluated in a similar way to written text. Like text, images can be used accurately, deliberately, misleadingly, or carelessly. So again, visual literacy deals with visual media, and it is based on the idea that visual images can be read. That's all, thank you.
My name is Geraldine Sakilan. So this is my part of this reporting. My reporting is called, the title is Divergent Thinking. So divergent thinking issues useful concept for identifying, supporting, measuring creativity as process to actualize oneself, manipulate internal and external on symbol as creation of illustrative ideas based on her knowledge, senses regarding people and objectives. So to peruse on Hazen 2017. So when we say divergent thinking is also kanang knowledge sa usa ka tao or how to manipulate her external thinking or her knowledge. So there are four components of divergent thinking. First is frequency. So frequency is a language means easily, responsibly, quickly, and without hearing stop and propose a lot. The more English you speak, the easier you will find speaking. Be more confident on how to speak English. Number 2, flexibility. When we say flexibility is a huge entitled of vocabulary and constantly absorbing new words whilst at the same time seeping into foreign language. So the third one is originality. When we say originality is ability to think or express oneself or independent on individual manner, creative ability, freshness, or novelty as of an idea, method, or performance in his person. So the fourth one is elaboration. When we say elaboration is to expand something in detail with you care to elaborate or to on that statement or to give additional details about someone or something. So when we say aesthetics, Britannica defined as aesthetic, also spelled aesthetics as the philosophical study of beauty and state in his closely related to the philosophy concerned with the nature of art and the concept which individual works of art are interpreted and evaluated. The nature and the scopes of aesthetics deals not only with nature and value arts, but also with those responses to natural objective that find expression in language of the beautiful and the ugly. So when we say there are three approaches to aesthetics. First is it is study of aesthetic concept or the analysis of language of criticism, in which particular judgment are singled out and their logic and justification are presented. Second one is it is a philosophical study of certain state of mind, responses, attitude, and emotion that are involved in aesthetic experience. Third one is it is the philosophical study of the aesthetic object that reflects that view the problems of aesthetic, because that word contains special object toward which people react selectively as described is aesthetic terms.
10. Integrating arts and creativity into the curriculum. Physical environment, emotional environment, project-based learning, teach creative thinking skills, alternative assessment, scheduling, student-centered and personalized learning, incorporate arts, integration of technologies, and preparing the body and brain for creativity. Many are asking what we can do to provide children with what they need, as we also to continue to push for real change. The following are the things the teachers can do provided. They also have support of the campus, district administrators, parents, especially future educators. Environment. Design a physical environment to support creativity such as castle design, school building, who architecture design edifies, roofs and ceilings, creative murals, beautiful garden landscape, color blocks and bench in the math and science garden, structured music and art studio, an atelier, student lodge, amphitheater, and etc. For instance, rearrange the furnishing current campus, library or classroom to incorporate the concepts and create school building where children can go today to reflect, design, and create. Number 2. Emotional environment. Take time to create and maintain a climate of respect, caring, and support to someone making mistakes. Because the man who makes no mistakes makes nothing. By sharing your lives on interests and encouraging students to promote emotional well-being among their classmates, we can integrate arts and creative literacy. Number 3. Project-based learning or PBL provides students time, space, and opportunity to express themselves, their ideas, emotions, and insights through arts. Design and plan any projects that are relevant, rigorous, and reward to attain motivation, engagement, and learning. Example, by brainstorming a topic, would like the student to explore, then brainstorm the possibilities for each disciplines. Number 4. Teach creative thinking skills. Teach students about metacognition or thinking about their thinking, even to the little ones, through the process of brainstorming, reasoning, comparing, contrasting, problem solving, concept mapping, analyzing, and evaluating, and more. Number 5. Alternative assessment. Instead of just a worksheet or an assignment, provide different authentic assessment like performance, system designs, project-based, portfolio, and others provided with the rubrics and other forms of metrics. A student produce a video infographics about what they have learned throughout all significant portion of their project-based curriculum unit. Number 6. Scheduling. Project-based curriculum and performance-based assessment need ample time and proper scheduling in either structured or unstructured manner. Example, 6 teachers with expertise in various disciplines who work the same group students all day and every day. This makes students easier to learn, follow in other schedules, as well as their educators. Number 7. Student-centered and personalized learning. Provide students freedom to choose on what they will learn, how they will learn, and how they will demonstrate what they have learned. Allowing students, believing in their capacity, and helping students to understand what's the world understanding are some examples of student-centered personalized learning. Number 8. Incorporate arts. Integrate seamlessly music, art, drama, and dance into the curriculum to develop creativity. Try to creativity time be separate the rest of curriculum while this discipline because delivering the curriculum while developing creativity. Number 9. Integration of technologies. Encourage students to create and utilize blogs and websites, clusters, VoiceThread, student publishing, video game design, coding, filmmaking, photography, global collaborative classroom projects using Google Hangouts, and etc. Number 10. Preparing the body and brain for creativity. Create activities that induce body-mind integration, such as yoga, ballet, jazz, zumba, calisthenics, and etc.